Disclaimer. This is a completely fictional podcast. So if you're offended, grow up.
Wonder how many times I can say that you garbage.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dabs and Blabs podcast.
Yeah.
I'm your dictator of this country, Matthew.
Not a dictator.
With me, as always, my friendly band of cohorts and special forces. To my left is Joe.
Hey, that's me.
To my right is Brandon.
Yeah.
Привет, товарищ.
Yep.
Yep.
And last but always least,
Yep. Sir,
Cameron
the...
Force
Wait a minute.
Yay!
Understudy.
Understudy.
All hail Matthew, the dictator.
Oh man, Matthew, I think you're gonna love this guy.
Yeah. Got my vote.
Load his ego up.
This place sucks.
Joe's like, wait a minute, nobody struck my ego.
Oh, I'll get there.
No, I got nothing but criticism and you're too mean to Cameron and, you know, that's what I got. You guys get like fucking...
Well, the understudy can take it.
Hope so.
Did you guys get all that out?
No.
Let's not hold the listeners hostage. Let's not make them smash nothing, bang nothing, buy nothing, fuck nothing, anything. Let's get this all out of the way. We dab,
We blab.
and then we blab about whatever pops into our pretty little heads.
I got something that's popped into my head this week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
probably get to it, but I'm going to go ahead and not hold the people hostage and give them what they want, because after this 2-minute read and a nice old review through Leafly, who's not a sponsor, by the way,
Not a sponsor, should be.
they'll be able to know whether or not they want to pick this strand up at their local Dabs and Blabs dispensary / dab lounge.
Spoiler alert, you will.
Alright, this week we have Motorbreath. Named after its excessively gassy flavor and smell, Motorbreath crosses ChemDog and San Fernando Valley OG Kush. This award-winning strain produces a flavorful smoke with notes of fuel, earth, and citrus. If you're an OG fan, Motorbreath is a must-try, but novices should be aware of its potent effects. Moving into the review, this week we have a review from one Mr. Steven.
Thought it was going to be Mr. Wendell. Go ahead.
Mr. Window, yeah.
The smell reminds me of a time I was walking to my car at 3 a.m. to go to work, only to be approached by a skunk. It's so pungent with skunkiness, it's honestly the stinkiest bud I've ever bought. If you ever had the strain G6, this strain smells pretty similar. Skunk, fuel, and hints of sweet citrus are present when opening the Motorbreath. Appearance. Y'all ever watch Nickelodeon? The color of this green is just like the slime.
You can't do that on television.
Along with that,
Yes, you can.
the other green color is nearly non-existent. It looks like Jack Frost stopped by and took a nap on this bud. It has beautiful orange hairs with purple appearing across the buds. It's one of the most pleasant-looking marijuana strains I've put my hands on. I've been smoking nearly daily for 7 years, and this stuff is probably the best-looking and smelling marijuana I've ever seen.
Fuck. I double dare you, Joe.
Have you ever been approached by a skunk?
Me personally, no, but I've definitely been near one.
It's a scary situation.
Matthew, what do you know about the legends of a hidden temple?
Nothing.
Yeah.
What hidden temple?
There's no way you'd get through the maze.
Yeah.
You got to be old enough to get that.
I was just
Are we
thinking
talking,
about American
Indiana Jones?
Gladiators.
No, not Indiana
Dun-dun-dun.
Jones.
Dun, dun, dun.
You said American Gladiators?
Mm-hmm.
There was this show in England that was just called Gladiators.
Gladiator, starring Russell Crowe.
No.
No.
Like Gladiators, like American Gladiators.
Sorry, Gladiator, starring Russell Brand.
No?
He's got a
That's a
YouTube
callback.
channel now, by the way, Russell Brand. He's got 5 million followers.
Oh, yeah.
He breaks it down for you. He's like, check out what these idiots are doing all over the world. Speaking of which, I guess we could go ahead and... First off, before we get down to business, everybody's got to... Since we get this motor breath here.
Motorbreath.
Yep.
Yeah, something like that. Motorhead.
Anytime I hear that song, which they're saying Motor Rev, right? Motor Rev, right? that what they're saying in that song?
I'm not familiar with the
I
song.
don't know. We'll have to look.
Did we ever say his name?
No, it's he's
Just the
the
understudy?
understudy.
That's
Cool.
me. That's who I am.
So he's actually playing Cameron. So when
Whoa.
times like these, we have it
learn
for
to
the
live again.
script
I'm only let out of the lair every once in a
to
while.
grow the podcast. Yeah.
Hey, we like having you here.
Oh, well,
I mean, he doubles as the understudy. He kind of watches that and then takes over the TikTok and stuff. So he does a couple other things. He's part of the Halifax PK Productions team.
Okay, that's fair. Well, I mean, if that company hired him, then I don't need to see his resume.
Oh no, he's locked in.
locked.
What he really does is he automates his job. So he understands how economics work, and he uses the dollar to stretch it very far. So these people that really need things in other parts of the world that are being, distressed by their government or whatever,
Just throwing a name out there like Ukraine,
or Venezuela, or all the other places that
Cyprus.
all them places that have been losing money. Like, you've been working your farm, you made a bunch of money, and then all of a sudden your country's economy, because you held their currency, went to hell in a handbasket.
I feel like you're
Anyway, he's paying them back because the United States dollar is the world's currency, and he's hiring it out and automating a lot of our stuff so we can actually, technically, in a very roundabout way, we're actually helping human beings instead of planting trees, because we're helping human beings in other countries become free from their government. I think we should give ourselves a nice round of applause for that. Good job, Dabs and Blabs.
Dabs and blabs, spreading the workers' revolution.
I hear you, but that
True
really
freedom right
sounded
there.
like score one for capitalism.
I don't think socialism can exist without capitalism. I've been giving it a lot of thought.
Well, maybe some place should try so we can all find out.
I mean, we'll get there.
Trial
one
and
way or
error, my
another.
friend. Trial and error.
That's all we're doing. We're doing the best with the given knowledge that we have at the time. Do we have breaking news?
Are we really?
Do we have breaking
Requires
news?
patience.
We might have some breaking news.
Can I get that naked breaking news? Here, let's see.
That's not it. That's not it.
Oh,
That's way too early.
shit. That's the wrong one again.
Way too early for that one.
Breaking news. We don't have
No,
to.
I don't have it. You're just going to have to mouth it.
Breaking news. War in Europe. Russia invades the Ukraine. Yeah, we have war in Eastern Europe. By the way, don't refer to it as the Ukraine. It's just Ukraine.
Yeah, they don't like that.
Yeah, the Ukraine comes from Soviet-era Russian propaganda trying to erase Ukrainian national identity.
And we don't like that.
Like the vines and the hives. Never mind.
Do what now?
The bands.
Sure.
You do your voice.
I didn't want to. Brandon nailed it.
No, he didn't.
Oh, I thought he did.
Oh, the humanity.
See,
I
Cameron.
didn't even have to
Cameron's on it.
Substitute Cameron nailed it.
I know.
CU. Cameron understand. Cameron understudy. Just call me CU.
Yeah, you're not
I
playing
see.
Cameron very well. Cameron just takes what we say and then he says them back at us, and then he puts a question mark behind it.
Puts a
So it'd
question
be-
mark behind it.
You made it sexual? Question mark.
You made it sexual?
Yeah, he does like to do that. That was a good Cameron impression.
He does like to do
I
that?
think he's holding out. I think he's joined a union. I didn't think we were going to unionize. We can't unionize. We want to give everybody
We can't
that,
unionize?
No, we got to give everybody stock options and equity in this brand that we're building.
Yeah.
So we're worker-owned, not unionized. Guys.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's still fine then.
You'll still find them?
I said, no, that's still fine.
You're doing a good job, Cameron.
Just give me a bit. I'll run with it. There you go.
Oh, boy. Let's see. You got any, you watch any movie trailers this week?
No,
That'd
we
be really
skipping
handy.
that already.
That'd be really handy if you'd.
If I'd what?
Cameron
watched
does
it?
that.
Yeah, you watch any movie trailers this week?
Any movie trailers this week?
Yeah.
Hold on, I could probably do it. Cameron's understudy does a trailer review.
With Cameron's understudy.
Damn, that was pretty good.
I mean, singing was.
No. Absolutely not.
And that's been Cameron's understudy's music review. Oh no,
Movie
movie
review.
review.
Not music.
Did you hear?
Trailer
it?
review.
Trailer review, yeah.
Trailer review.
Because Cameron was going to do a movie review and didn't even watch a movie the first
I know. It's just been going backwards. I don't know.
And then there's the week.
We never
where-
claimed that he prepared his understudy. We never
Pretty
said
soon it's going to go
Yeah.
Cameron's TikTok review. Then it's going to go to Cameron's thought while he was taking a piss review.
Why don't we just do Cameron's week in review, and then he can pick whatever topic.
I don't think he remembers what he does from day to day. I think he's
He really
blending
does.
them all in together. I
You
think
talking
he's,
about me or the or him?
Hey, if the shoe fits.
Because yeah, the
you're
shoe does
playing.
fit.
You're playing.
I mean,
him,
you are
so
Cameron now, so.
Oh, that's me.
You're gonna have to
Not,
turn.
not in real life. Remember, you're just pretending.
Oh yeah, in real life I'd have to leave.
You're the other fella. Well, not yet.
Not yet.
You get like 30 minutes.
You're gonna have to turn your demeanor down, sir.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
there's a lot of energy coming out of that chair, and
All right,
I'm not
here.
used
I'll,
to that.
I'll slouch down. All right, there we go. Comfortable.
Hold on. You need me to go get the karimba from upstairs?
The what?
The karimba? Oh, man, that would have been perfect for that.
I caramba.
Ay caramba. We'll go grab it.
It's
Oh, no, I'm
not.
not staying up in the middle of the podcast.
Once you hit record, you can't walk through the room.
All right, that's fair.
Not supposed to, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we take a lot
supposed
of
to?
steps to make this as professional as possible.
We take it.
Professional as possible.
Yeah, we. Fucking
Wow,
hell, dude, I love
that's
it.
harsh criticism
you-
right there.
No,
I know. I gave him a thing, and
It's okay.
now
No,
it's
Gave
just
me a
stuck on
thing,
it.
man.
It's
You
fine.
can't give me a thing and expect me to drop the thing.
Hey, this is the first time we've got him out here on the court playing. So,
I mean, he's popping shots.
well, I mean,
Popping shots?
he certainly has a nice backhand.
he's nailing those return serves.
Yeah. See,
40 love.
it's not 40 love. It's
It's not 40 love.
Game set match.
it's break point. And that concludes all the tennis references that Joe has.
All right, so now you don't have to be that depressing. You can go off book a little bit. You can play more characters. I like that voice that you did.
Well,
Joe
which
wouldn't
one?
do any of them. Joe wouldn't even do his breaking Ukraine Russian story because basically we need to blab about that, and then we.
Yeah,
tease
no, I was
him
gonna
with it.
say, are we gonna actually like talk any about like what's going on in Ukraine right now?
Absolutely. Who wants to give me the most accurate breakdown, and can we have sources cited? Like,
I don't see why it's
I
got to be
mean-
one person. I feel like me and Brandon can.
All right,
Have
so
at it.
all right, so how far back do we want to go in terms of like where this conflict is coming from?
Let's go.
well, let's. Okay,
start-
first off, I'm going to jump in, and I'm going to say I said it was a dick measuring contest. That they were manipulating the markets, truck up, truck back. I was wrong. I didn't think he'd ever invade. The second they killed somebody, this shit's all stupid.
They've
That's my stance. I'm sorry.
No.
There's a editor's note right there for me.
So
But
it's cool, dude. We learn as we go. It's important to fucking point out. That's cool.
Exactly.
That's progression. That's what's up.
But no, so
Let's start in Georgia.
yeah, we'll start with the conflict in Georgia because this is really an important part of setting the stage for
and that
What-
year was
2008.
2008 is when the Georgian conflicts started. So essentially, there are two breakaway regions in Georgia: Abkhazia in the northwest and South Ossetia
Yeah.
in the north central part of the country. Now, South Ossetia became incredibly important back in 2011 again, right before the Sochi Olympics, when the Russians invaded them again.
Is that when they moved?
probably why they did it. They needed to get the slopes.
Well,
Is that when they made South Ossetia.
that's
or
when they
the border-
That's when they expanded the border fence to include part of a pipeline running between the Caspian and Black Seas.
Thus,
Caspian Mountains got
thus
some great-
regaining control of the oil going to the.
Yeah, because
west, heading
because
around
the
to
Western
Russia.
countries built a new pipeline through southern Georgia, essentially attempting to bypass Russian oil interest in the region.
Fun fact: Georgia, cheapest lift tickets in the in Europe.
Cheapest lift tickets in Europe?
Doesn't
Oh man. Anyway,
But yeah, essentially, so the Russians were able to invade or to follow a similar playbook in Georgia to what they have now in the Ukraine, in that there were a minority separatist groups
planted.
that included Russians.
Real question: do you think that those are 100% puppets, or do you think that's the
No, I do
extreme Russian
think
side of
there are legitimately people in Abkhazia and South Ossetia who believe that their ethnic groups
Were Russian?
genuinely do deserve some form of independence from Georgia, or at least the right to reunify with Russia, and that there may genuinely be those sentiments among the population. The problem is that Russia, being much larger and stronger than its neighbors, especially Georgia, will then use those as an excuse to exploit their neighbors and then take land from them. Essentially,
basically fearing the exact thing that happened. If they could do it in Georgia, then that means they could do it in Ukraine. But they stopped off in 2014 in Crimea before they went for full on Ukraine,
right?
which is what we're doing now. Well, what they're doing now. So,
I mean, does the listeners? So who's executing this? This is all Putin, right?
So Putin's the one that's pushing it, and he's basically playing the role as he's done in the aforementioned Georgia and Crimea situation, where he's being the fucking antagonizer, and it's basically a fucking kid trying to get what he wants. And
He's trying to get back what he had.
he didn't have it. He did not have that.
He was a part of the KGB and the regime during the Soviet
Yeah,
Union.
but Putin wasn't a communist at early. Well, I mean, Putin wasn't like a believer in communism per se. Like, obviously, like everyone in the Soviet Union back then was a member of the Communist Party, or you were exiled in Siberia.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
Sounds like fun.
You're at least communist curious.
Communist curious?
Yeah.
But Putin ideologically idealizes Tsarist Russia much more than he does the USSR. In fact, Putin is at least claimed to believe that that Vladimir Lenin was essentially a weak leader who gave up lands that should have rightfully been Russian in negotiating the peace treaty to get the newly formed Russian provisional government, which later became the USSR, out of World War One.
So how's he just saying that's mine and killing innocent people? Like what? What's his rationale? Like what's he saying?
dead
Like,
ass serious.
what's his
So
excuse?
the excuse that he's using to justify it, there's a couple different ones.
This is rich. If the denazification.
Yeah, there's the denazification one where basically he claims that the Ukrainian government is genociding its own people, specifically Russian ethnic minorities within its borders, and accusing their leadership, including their Jewish president, of being neo-Nazis.
A descendant of a Holocaust survivor.
So where are they doing this at Chernobyl?
Don't do that. You
No,
know
I'm
I'm
just
upset
saying-
about
I'm-
that.
I know.
I messaged Brandon when I seen that, and I said they took fucking Chernobyl. I was
But
heartbroken.
I mean, is that real or not real?
So it feels like to me that they like secured that area, which if you look at a map, dude, it's the first stop inside Ukraine from Belarus.
Pretty much.
It's literally on the way to Kiev.
Yeah.
Like, can't miss it.
The
It's the
issue
first
the
town.
issue is that any sort of extreme fighting in the region could disturb the radioactive dust and
I heard
cause
they already
further
did
pollution.
that actually.
Well, a little bit, nothing crazy.
Hey guys, let's roll over there and get some radiation.
That's just essentially that was
great
chalked
idea.
up to that was the movement. You know what I mean? That was just the dust getting kicked up. It wasn't anything
But-
absurd.
Right, well, which makes sense when you have like tanks and trucks and heavy artillery rolling through there.
But-
the issue is once you get explosives blowing up in there.
That's where it's a problem.
Yeah.
Because then you're creating essentially, you're helping move the radiation, which
That
we
tends
want
to make a
remain.
bit of a dust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
Well, the worst case scenario is they use essentially Chernobyl as a bomb.
Well, there's been rumors that the Russians may do something like that on their way out and target Ukrainian power facilities, including the 15 active nuclear power plants in the country.
But didn't it fuck Belarus like big time? Like, okay, so when the fallout cloud essentially,
Yeah, because it drifted into other parts of the Soviet Union and later Europe, which is how we found out that Chernobyl happened. Is essentially the Swedish radiologist to the north of Chernobyl noticed like acid rain and irregular radiation levels in the atmosphere, and they're like, hey, there's something weird going on in the Soviet Union. And the Soviets were basically like, no, nothing weird going on here. What are you talking about?
Nothing. We're good.
And until finally, like, okay, maybe there was a tiny accident in Ukraine, but
Right, so-
it's okay. We clean up. It's no big deal.
We are what you call.
Okay, maybe it's big deal. Maybe some people die, but power plant is shut down. It is contained now.
It's no big deal. We sent.
We send in liquidators. They all die. It's fine.
We go Russia.
But now,
So he's trying to save the country from themselves by bombing them?
And that's why people say that he's a mob boss, because he's doing that fucking shakedown protection thing where they'd walk in fucking, man, be ashamed something happened to your business. Like, you should probably give us a cut of that. So, remember when I said the last conqueror theory and you guys kept fucking laughing at me? This is what I was trying to say and I couldn't articulate. It's the fact that basically every land, for the most part, Brandon backed me up on this, is essentially claimed. There's no more unclaimed land on the planet, right?
for the most part, I mean,
No
yeah, I mean,
inhabitable.
even like like even places like Antarctica, for example, are technically claimed, but under international treaty, no country is able to make a recognizable claim to Antarctica. It's considered neutral
So
territory.
technically, you're not born free anywhere on the planet because somebody owns the land under your ass.
Yeah. Well, actually, there is kind of one exception that's
The
kind of
ocean,
weird.
Waterworld, Kevin
No.
Are
Costner,
you
shout out, yeah. Callback, Buck.
Primitively related is where you're going with that?
You related to Kevin
Are you
Costner?
talking? No, primitively. Like it's related to a primitive.
Sorry, I jumped the gun. I got excited.
No.
The island?
There's an area between Egypt and Sudan that is technically unclaimed because of the way the maps were drawn. There are two different maps. One says a certain region on the coast is part of Egypt. One says it's part of Sudan, and essentially both countries want to claim that region. Depending on which map you look at, it would then give another parcel of land to the country that does not have the parcel of land that's on the Red Sea. Neither country claims that because they want the more valuable piece of land that's on the coast. So technically, that piece of land between those two countries is unclaimed.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Good
Unclaimed?
luck getting to it, just shy of airdropping ourselves in there.
Right.
But then shy of them just not being like, oh, hey, you're in our woods, fuck off. But yeah, you must watch Johnny Harris too on YouTube. That was great.
But no, going back to everything going on in the Ukraine. So
Shout out another podcast. They're not a sponsor, by the way.
He's a cool guy.
Whoever
I
that
like
fella
him.
is. I'm sure he is, but still not a sponsor.
are-
going back to what's
Family.
happening in Ukraine. So yeah, Joe kind of referenced. In 2013, initially there was some unrest in the Ukraine over elections that saw their previous president, who was essentially a Russian puppet, try and fail to rig the election, and the Ukrainian people kicked him out. And but during this unrest, Crimea, which is a peninsula in southern Ukraine on the Black Sea,
Which, by the way, doesn't officially touch Russia in any way.
no.
They have to go through Ukraine, or I guess is Georgia the other part?
No, I mean, so here's the thing. So Crimea declared independence from Ukraine and then joined Russia. So the Russians, in order to access Crimea, built a bridge from mainland Russia to Crimea. The issue with this bridge, obviously, is that it could easily be destroyed or otherwise interfered with by Ukrainians.
One lane.
So,
Yeah, that's a problem. You should have built another one to come back on. Yeah.
so the Russians
Good thinking, Matthew.
are trying to essentially, at the very least, come out of this with a land route to Crimea, which will also allow them to turn back on the fresh water in Crimea, which the Ukrainians cut off when Crimea broke away. Because all fresh water coming into Crimea comes in through a Ukrainian-controlled canal
Sucks
off the
to
Dnieper
suck.
River.
Sucks to suck, dude.
Always.
Oh, you guys want that land? Cool.
Gotta be
Well, we're
uphill.
gonna shut the fucking
Gotta
we're
be
gonna shut
uphill?
the pipe off right before it gets to you guys. Okay. We're just gonna not let that water go that way now.
I defy you, water.
Russia's also trying to gain further control over a key oil and natural gas pipeline that provides Russian fossil fuels to mainland Europe, which most of mainland Europe is heavily reliant on Russian oil and natural gas. However, the Germans in particular have taken steps recently to wean themselves off of that reliance.
Well, fucking let's go Germany, huh?
But Russia's GDP, their oil and energy would be 40% of their GDP, and then their whole country's GDP is
About the same as Texas.
same as Texas.
But let's point out that there are good folks in Russia.
They got
that-
nukes. Could you imagine if Texans had nukes? Jesus Christ.
It'd be messy.
Oh,
It'd be real messy.
That was another thing that me and Joe
Red
were,
Raiders.
were discussing international.
Mutually, it's your destruction, my ass. Let's go.
Stars are bright and big at night.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas, especially the ICBMs.
And Cameron's dick.
Big personality. I was gonna say
Yes.
there's big personalities in Texas.
Closer to the equator. So the moonlight shines.
So
on
technically, you're longer.
it. I guess so.
Like your whole body's longer. Is
Coriolis
this a
effect.
space thing? Is that
Coriolis effect. You get it to spin the other way. as
Don
you get-
Cornelius?
Yep. Don Cornelius
Don
effect.
Cornelius effect. No shit. Same guy from
Hey,
Soul-
Australians, your toilets flush the opposite way.
They don't,
sure
man.
do.
Don't be
They
that
do.
American. They don't.
They do.
I disagree.
You got to look it up.
I have.
We wouldn't lie to you.
You would. These are all things that have happened.
No, Brandon can verify that.
Brandon, they spin the same fucking way. Shut him up, please.
So Cameron, what do you think? What do you think about this Russia-Ukraine thing so far since
Whose side
Brandon's
do you take? The correct
explained it. What are you getting from this part of the story?
See, this
Chapter
is
1.
one of those situations where I really need to read up on it more because anything I say right now about the situation I know nothing about is just going to be ignorant.
But then again, what news sources do you
See,
use?
but that
to
plays
cite?
right into Cameron's wheelhouse.
Also, though, no, in all seriousness, this pod's a safe place that promotes learning. So, dude,
Yeah, you can make mistakes.
Soaking
Matthew,
it all
you
in.
have an opinion?
Soaking it
came
all
back
in.
and corrected.
Those people, those pundits. Paul Feinbaum gets paid for his shitty opinions.
The Russians ain't played nobody, Paul.
No, the dinosaurs ain't played nobody.
They're shipping dinosaurs' bones in a pipeline, Paul.
Dino DNA.
I just watched that the other day, and I want to point out real quick about Jurassic Park. The way that they used a cartoon character to explain the whole DNA process of how they extracted it was fucking brilliant. Like, I watched it the other night, and like,
Fucking brilliant.
yeah, because
Fucking brilliant?
it is, you assholes. It's because you fucking like
You assholes.
think about it. That movie was marketed to kids, right? But also it used a lot of special effects, so you
Haven't
had
seen it.
adults. You've never seen Jurassic Park.
No, we've had this
Turn
discussion.
your own mic off.
You need me to walk away?
I do.
You want me to turn the podcast off?
No, you
Turn the podcast off.
keep it on. God, I really like Cameron too.
Cameron, on your personal account, how was your week?
Interesting,
Did you see Tree at
to
all?
say the least.
Did
Yeah, how's Tree?
have an Arbor Day? Maybe. Saw not an oak tree.
It was a nice tree.
Was it a spruce tree?
Sprucey, I'd say. Very sprucey.
Anything exciting, interesting happened to you? How's Jill?
How's
Yeah.
Jill?
Yeah.
How's Jill?
Hey, Cameron's understudy. How's Cameron's girlfriend?
I actually...
I know when he
He's gonna
hears
Jill
listen back
actually
now, and he's
also-
gonna fucking blame you, dickhead.
Jill's gonna laugh, and Cameron's gonna
Jill
be sad.
actually also has an understudy.
She does.
Jill,
Yeah.
You hanging
I'm
out with Jill's
currently
understudy?
dating that understudy.
that's super confusing.
It's commitment is what it is.
That's impressive.
I would like to.
I take my
this-
job very seriously.
Yeah. I mean, I do too, but then I hit the mic and then piss off Matthew.
There's
and-
so much
You hit the
love
mic
going
and piss
around.
off Matthew?
yeah, it's never not
All
one
right, you
time.
can stop doing that now.
You can stop doing that now?
I can stop doing that now?
You can stop doing that now.
The
I mean,
worst
I
part is I
could.
gave him the fucking idea.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. See,
God damn it.
self-inflicted.
That's
See
what
how
I
you just-
try to be for being creative.
Here's a callback. That's a little bit of self-defecation.
Yeah, it is.
Just a little bit.
He doesn't even know. He doesn't even listen to our podcast, and he's on it.
I
This
know,
is
it's pretty
great.
cool.
It's fucking cool.
We're worldwide.
He gets all the references. Sick
All the
reference. bro.
references.
Sick reference, bro. Bro, you have the best references. Everybody knows that.
You give me a bit, I'll jump right on it.
We did. We just did a Ukrainian thing, and
I like you to keep talking about doing your Russian voices. I really like that. It's better than you asking questions and making me feel like an ass the whole rest of the podcast.
I
Make
don't
you
know.
sound like ass?
I was enjoying that. I was kind of having fun with it.
Slava UkraIni.
Slava UkraIni.
So, Elon Musk sent some Starlink terminals over and got it all approved and hooked up because when the Russians came in and took out the communique, someone in Kiev
Is that
can...
French?
Yeah, I guess.
We.
Okay, well, we're talking about Russian, so.
Yeah,
It,
I'm
all-
working
it all
on
it all links back through Crimea, actually.
So he's hooking them up with internet, and they're apparently getting tossed a bunch of cryptocurrency from people all over the world, along with the Canadian truckers. And then apparently there's a trucker rally going from somewhere in America to D.C., and they're going to pull a trucker thing there, too. There's crypto flying all over the place. The Russian banks are being shut down. The ruble is literally dropped over the weekend. Forex market opened in New Zealand. Oh, my God.
Well,
it's
hey,
down. Commodities
your buddies
are up.
over at your buddies over at Credit Suisse are liquidating Russian accounts.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Keep playing fuck around, you idiots. Keep playing fuck around with other countries like that shit. North Korea, you try it next to.
Whoa.
No, I'm
He
just
probably
saying.
listens.
I mean,
You know what?
Kim Jong Un has nothing better to do. He's probably
hold on.
he's
Hold on,
probably
hot take.
sitting there, ripping fucking dabs, eating the entire North Korean food supply.
I have a hot take here.
Damn, that sounds nice.
If in all honesty we could get the Dennis Rodman treatment to where we're guaranteed free passage and we can leave under our own will, would you, if invited, go kick it with him? Just to see what the fuck.
Sure, because I'm not afraid of anything.
I mean-
That's why we sent Cameron to the Ukraine, and we got his understudy.
Holy shit! Is that
We
what
gave
we
him an
did?
AK, a
I was
smartphone. He
No.
Googled how to use it and how to load it, and he's going to go help.
He's going to come back a very different man.
There's no question. There's no fucking question.
I mean, how do we know Cameron's not the ghost of Kiev?
Oh, the Ghost of Kiev. That's fun.
Whoa, what's that?
Ooh.
It's
Is it real? Is it not?
It's
Is
a
it
Ukrainian
real? Is it not?
fighter pilot who shot down something like 6 Russian planes within the first 24 hours of the invasion.
But it's also possibly
With a crop duster.
No, with an old Soviet MiG, but close enough, honestly.
I just fired up old MiG, and then we went for a run.
This is my fucking farmland.
But no, me and
Fun
Joe were
crops.
actually discussing the national nuclear arsenal earlier, or the international nuclear arsenal earlier.
The International Atomic Energy Association.
Yes.
IAEA.
They're in charge of regulating basically all worldwide uranium enrichment, whether it's for energy or weaponry purposes.
Now,
To be honest with you, technology's come far enough. People need to understand you get degradation across distance. Nuclear should be safe enough now. People should trust it and use it as
for the
another
most part,
source.
nuclear is a
agree.
safe option.
Yeah.
For the most part.
As long as you're not.
Running safety tests somewhere around Pripyat, 1986. Just throwing that out there.
But honestly, like the number of major nuclear accidents are incredibly rare, and the only one we've really had since like Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island would be Fukushima, which was caused by a natural disaster, not human error.
Yeah. Well,
Guess
sure
who
we-
just started looking into nuclear like 2 days ago?
you?
Germany.
Yeah,
Good.
well, they're
I mean, once again,
reconsidering.
trying to wean themselves off of Russian fossil fuels.
So
And
something they should have done 7 years ago.
I don't know. 7
I
years
feel like
ago.
it's something we all should have done 70 years ago instead of building bombs out of it. But you know,
But also one of the former politicians in Germany
But they're
is
just
a
so
direct
shiny.
family member of the pipeline that connects to Russia.
David Hasselhoff?
Probably.
He sung at the wall
I
when
thought he was Austrian.
He can be on.
No,
the
wait,
podcast.
Schwarzenegger's
I like,
Austrian.
I like
Schwarzenegger's Austrian.
I like Hasselhoff and Schwarzenegger. They can come on.
Hasselhoff's awesome. He sung at the fall of the Berlin Wall. He had that silly little light up jacket. Like it looked like a bunch of light bulbs on it. He's like, I'm searching for freedom.
But no, me and Joe were discussing the international nuclear arsenal. Pretty much every country at this point that has nukes, with the exception of North Korea, has enough to destroy the entire world several times over,
Yeah.
or at least one time over.
If you figured out how to weaponize it, you pretty much can do it.
Because basically it would only take about 100 nukes to do that.
Only 100 nukes?
Yeah.
It's absurd.
And the U.S. and Soviets both have like way past that, like in the thousands.
Yeah, like it's an absolute absurd amount considering. So the Russia and the U.S. have something like 90% of the world's nuclear stockpile, right?
Yeah, between the two of them.
But just between two cats, and the rest of the world shares 10%.
With that being the UK, U.S. ally, France, U.S. ally,
First ally.
China,
Macaroni.
or Russian friendly state, but not really ally, and really haven't been since the Maoist era. Like
Which early 1900s?
early 1950s. Because then there was the Sino-Soviet split, where basically Khrushchev and Mao, I think, got mad at each other over some shenanigans.
So they're kind of friends with benefits when it's convenient.
Basically, like this, yeah, kind of like the Soviets.
Well,
the Soviets and the Chinese were allies for a long time because they were both communists. But when the Soviet Union fell, really, like China and Russia only get along now because it pisses off the U.S.
It's the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you hate him too. We fuck with you. Come on.
Keep your friends close. Keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer.
Where do you put your frenemies then?
Somewhere in the middle.
Between. Good job, Cameron.
We meet in the middle. Remember that song?
No.
Meet in the middle.
So the economics of this, let's try to figure this out.
Token.
So I heard a story where wasn't Joe Biden's son Hunter have a job over there?
We're
or
not
something?
doing this. Oh God, let's.
And
go.
then Putin wants to go in and get the documents, but then again, why would they have them on the cloud? And even if they did have it air gapped, why wouldn't they have just put it in the old shredder by then at that point in time? What's
good
he
old
really gonna
shredder.
get? It doesn't matter. But anyway,
Master Shredder from.
if Russia takes over Ukraine, I don't know how they get a hold of it, if because it's crypto, and apparently people worldwide are donating this crypto. But apparently Ukraine has the largest sovereign wealth fund treasury. I think they have like something around like 46,000 Bitcoin. They're number one amongst all countries to have it on their balance sheet.
That's right now, or that was.
It's right now. So like if Russia takes it over, they just automatically get 46,000 Bitcoin, or does someone hiding it in their pocket? I don't know how they got it stored. But then all these people are donating shit all worldwide. And then I just read on the way over here that the UK was donating $500 million for them to get guns. Now here's my question.
Okay.
Answer me this, Brandon or Joe or Cameron.
I'm gonna try first, Brandon. You come in and save me.
Go for it.
Also, remind me to tell you about the U.S. after this. But here's $500 million. Okay? I want you to get guns with it. Do I give it to you, Ukraine, and then you get guns, and then you just go to the local gun store, or are you calling some wholesalers, or do you go take it and buy the guns with it and give it to them? And then my main question is, when Brandon always says follow the money, whether the Brits or the Ukrainians buy the fucking guns, no matter where they buy them from, if they are all AKs, which isn't that a Russian gun?
Yeah, the Kalashnikov.
yeah,
right?
Kalashnikov.
The other
yeah.
one. But
No,
who's
but-
making
yeah.
the bullets and who's making the guns, and where if the money's being donated by UK,
So-
which they're just printing it just like the US, because the US, here's my point, just asked the Senate for what, 6.8 billion to
Yeah.
help with Ukraine. So where's all this money going? Who's getting the money in the end that they're just making out of thin air to help in a war? War is profitable.
Yeah.
Who's making that money? Who's selling those guns?
As one of our good friends and political advisors of the Halifax Pizza Kitchen told us, Lockheed Martin.
Hey, bitch. Shout out.
Upstate New York, what up?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so for like the entire time that I worked there, like he'd mentioned that he
U.S. defense contractor?
that Lockheed Martin of Lockheed Martin fame. Yeah. Yeah.
They make the bullets or the guns or both?
They make planes.
They make
all
a
kinds
lot
of
of a lot of the weaponry that's being sent to the Ukraine.
When you think of a war
All
machine
of the above.
manufacturer, they're top notch.
No one ever has invented one of those little bubble shields like the head of Wakanda yet. You know what I mean?
That would be pretty useful right now in Ukraine.
You
Also,
think so?
science fiction is why that hasn't happened yet.
Oh man, you're telling me we can't
Someone
build
made a
forts?
lightsaber.
No,
It can
no,
happen.
No,
Oh my
see,
God, did that happen?
Someone didn't listen to the podcast
Is this-
last week.
this-
Someone didn't listen to themselves on the podcast.
That's a great point.
I like this version of Cameron.
I don't know.
The understudy was not trained by the.
I still, I don't know. There's a reason why we cast the original Cameron. Let's just be honest there.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Credit where credit's due. Don't get me wrong. The fucking understudy's brilliant.
Dude, I'm still thinking about Shredder just because you brought him up. I'm just thinking about Ninja
Teenage
Turtles.
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Heroes in a half show.
Turtle power.
Never pay full price.
They're the
for
world's
late
most
pizza.
fearsome fighting team.
Just saying yep
Okay.
to Moscow Mitch while we're talking about
They're
turtles.
teenagers in
Oh,
a shell.
yeah.
And they're green.
We were talking about how the boomers are going to die off.
And they listen to a rap.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
I'm sorry to inform you, but I'm going to have to insist that he stays. Cameron's understudy has to go to bed, but this is a fictional podcast, and he's staying, but we just had to do it because it's the 38-minute
mark,
of
so,
the
yeah.
podcast.
Woo! Yay!
Yeah, good job, thanks.
A lot of
Cameron's understudy. You got work tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah, what time are you looking to get to bed here?
not right now. Apparently.
Not right now.
Not right
good
now.
job, see?
Not right now. You insisted.
I did insist.
It's weird. It's like
So what can I say? You convinced me.
So how do you feel about the economics of this? Is it all Lockheed Martin? They got it Lockheed
Oh, absolutely.
down on the supply chain?
well, I
I
mean,
mean, there's a lot more
definitely-
U.S. defense contractors and American weapons manufacturers who are going to make a lot of money off of this war,
Yeah.
as well as European weapons manufacturers, obviously, because they're a lot closer to the conflict.
But
Germany actually recently made an exception to a long-standing ban on exporting weapons to a war zone for the Ukraine.
Call of Duty
I
was
thought that
in?
would have taken a long time with their fucking paperwork.
Man,
Goofy
paperwork.
bastards.
which that's another thing. You want to talk about efficient bureaucracies?
Sure do.
The French have built a beautifully inefficient bureaucracy.
Oh, Vivi.
That macaroni guy.
Oh, yeah.
Marconi?
Chef Boyardee.
No.
Emmanuel Macron.
No. Come on. We've already fucking done bad Russian accents.
like it baguette.
No.
I mean,
Stinky America.
Okay, that's...
is a spicy.
You give me the cigarette
I don't know what's happening. I have no idea what's happening.
sacre
I will spit on you again.
I think it's weird because it
and I
all...
will dance
But
in
no,
the
the
rain in Paris.
Shifting back to what Brandon was saying.
I was going to say that Russians also have an incredibly inefficient government bureaucracy that is a sight to behold. But
A sight to behold.
I think we're beholding the site currently.
You dick.
We're seeing
Dick?
everything's a question out of him. I love it.
and then then back on the nuclear arsenal. I was going to reference incident that me and Joe were talking about earlier. The what was it? The Vela incident, I believe it was. Basically, what it was an unconfirmed nuclear test somewhere in the southern Atlantic / Indian Ocean.
Wait till you hear who's believed to have done it.
JFK.
No, a joint
Leave him out of this.
Israeli and South African operation.
Who?
The Israelis are believed to have a nuclear arsenal of between 75 and 200 warheads, but have never confirmed whether or not they have nukes, because it basically serves as deterrence at minimal political cost, is how it's referred to. Essentially meaning that other countries don't want to risk the fact that Israel might have nuclear weapons,
Yeah, it's the
but Israel never has to reveal to anyone whether or not they actually have nuclear weapons.
we got them. If you want to see them, we're gonna use them.
Aren't they busy bombing Damascus anyway?
No, they're mostly just focused on bombing
That
the
was so a
Palestinians.
few months ago.
Was it? I thought they were still doing it. Current war.
Oh no, I mean there's totally
Are
still
we
war going on in Syria. It's just war in Syria. Syria is like old
thought
news
it was
now. Now we got
Israel
war.
doing
Now we have
it.
war in the Ukraine. Now we have white people dying, Matthew. This is important.
Dude,
Oh,
honestly,
shit.
I think that's
This is
why-
where we step up.
But aren't we also fucking currently in a war in Somalia or somewhere over there?
I mean,
Trying to shut down the old...
so I mean,
They're always something.
I swear to
Somalia has
God we
been
are.
in a constant state of war pretty much since independence, because there's parts of Somalia that don't want to be part of a greater Somalia. They want to be part. They want to be their own smaller independent country,
So why doesn't that happen?
All until
because
nonsense.
because the other Somalians don't want them to be independent, because naturally they were given this broad political power that they want to maintain. But the problem is they were given broad political power over various ethnic groups that don't necessarily match or give a shit about the borders that the Europeans chose to draw based off what resources they want. And that's the problem with what's going on in Africa today, is that all these
Airlines.
borders were drawn based off of what resources the Europeans want and not who lived where. It's the same problem that we have in the Middle East as well. For example, the fact that despite the Kurds being one of the largest ethnic groups in the Middle East outside of Arab people, they don't have their own state.
So what you're saying is the rich people and the politicians are all fighting for control to keep poor people poor over imaginary lines.
Hey, don't tell anybody
Yes.
that. Don't. Shut
That
up.
was a secret I told you in confidence.
Jesus, man.
Like, why? Because you keep the poor people fighting each other. At the end of the day, they're all dead, they're all equal, and you stay
Also-
rich, generational wealth.
Exactly.
I can't tell you any secrets.
Joe, I have a question for you now. Actually, how many times do you think we're going to run head on into the point of the socialist cause on this podcast before everyone on the podcast is converted to socialism?
Oh shit! I don't.
I already
know.
told you still need a free market and
If we
capitalistic
make it,
market
trust me,
to make it grow to the
We're a
point
lot-
where we can just go boom, turn the
we're a
light
lot
on.
more.
Well, yeah, but
advanced.
that's the thing is
Got
that
this.
people don't realize is that from the beginning, from Marx's Communist Manifesto, it always
Comes
capitalism
back to
was
Marx.
was always seen as a necessary evil, a step on the progress of human evolution.
It can be done better.
It's just that socialism and communism is seen as that next step in human socioeconomic
Hell no,
evolution.
Fuck no. It's tech. Tech will free you because it
Will it?
drives down the cost of everything. It makes everything so efficient and it grows at an exponential rate. So, like, it has to. I mean, think of how far we've come just from, like, the goddamn Industrial Revolution.
Well, but that's the
early 1900s with goddamn fucking horse and buggies.
Right, but that's the thing is that you also have to consider that the Industrial Revolution, or the late Industrial period, anyways, is the exact backdrop that the Communist Manifesto was written against, and that was the society that they were dealing with a society where,
So why would you want to go backwards?
well, it was a society where industrialization had essentially pushed people into modern serfdom, where you were essentially owned and controlled by the company that you worked for.
Now they're doing it just by deflating the country's fucking currency. They're literally stealing from you. The governments are stealing from their own people.
They've been doing that.
Well, they're doing it at an exponential rate now.
Oh, they're really good at it.
Shh, that's a secret.
It's not.
Oh yeah, you're right. My bad.
I
like that segment.
But the importance of industrialization in the importance of capitalism and industrialization in the progress of humanity is exactly why Marx believed that Russia would actually be one of the last places to experience a successful communist revolution, not the first. Because Russia, at the time of the February Revolution, was such a backwards feudal state that Marx essentially saw them as not even being an industrialized power, and thus not capable of building the kind of working class consciousness required for a socialist revolution. The thing is that the Russian autocracy had stepped on the people for so long that they just didn't give a shit and wanted literally anything else.
Basically, what I think is that you can still have your capitalism, but it's just the way that the current capitalism is running. That's not the only way that capitalism can exist.
That's the problem. The way it's currently running now is they keep changing the rules of the game while you're playing it.
Yeah, I know. And as
Everybody
kid,
gets a participation trophy. That's not like how football works, you know? You either make the playoffs or you don't. You either win the game or you don't. You're either the best motherfucking team at the end of the goddamn season or you fucking won't.
my freshman football team went 8-1.
Good throwback.
So,
8-1.
Yeah. Well, it was the last game of the year. The Manitoba Moose had a tough squad that year. We lost by 2. It's all right.
You hate to see it.
I mean, you guys probably lost because you kept punting on third down.
Well, no. Well, that's because the kicker, who was me, I went 1 for 8 in extra point tries, including one that went into the football or the soccer goal. That's how far left I missed it. The other one that I kicked my snapper, I hit his ankle with the tee because I kicked that further than the ball. But I want to say that the one of 8 or 6, I can't remember at this point, but the one that I did make, straight down the pipes, man. Right down the middle of the uprights.
After it dinked off the crossbar?
No, dude, I shit you not. The one I did make was true as fuck. Like, which just made all the other ones even more inexplainable. Of like, because in practice, dude, just dinking them in from distance. Game, nope.
It's those bright lights, man.
Look, man, I got one. It was on our home field.
Look,
I
the
didn't give a
the
fuck.
stadium was built east to west because it made the photographs look nicer.
Okay, Jerry Jones. You forgot about that one little bit of sunlight. That's going to fuck your quarterback up.
Little bit of sunlight.
Little bit of sunlight.
Pocket full of sunshine.
Pocket full of sunshine. So I remember.
Whoa.
Who was that?
Natasha Bedingfield.
Okay.
That person.
Of Natasha Bedingfield fame. Got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't think of a single other thing she's done in her life.
Are you being serious right now?
Does she need anything else? She got a pocket full of sunshine. That's all
That's a
you need.
good point.
Yeah.
I've heard of people walking on sunshine,
No, that's Katrina on the waves.
and they felt fine.
Felt fine.
Don't it feel good?
Does it feel good?
I love it. Just when I think Brandon's not going to keep the lyrics going, he gets me with that. Love it.
I used to think maybe you love me. Now, baby, I'm sure.
All right. Matthew, are you mad
I like
that
the look on
we're
his face when he said that.
essentially making a mockery of your poetry corner?
No.
Yeah, well.
No, that doesn't sound.
I don't know what you're talking
That
about.
doesn't sound
I
like
mean,
something he's mad at me.
imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
I mean, that's a good way to, rationalize it in your brain if you want.
I mean, I'm a unique individual.
Oh, you're like you're unique as a snowflake?
We've had
Yeah,
an
like a
unfortunately
fractal.
informative podcast, I feel like.
Yeah, so my real point out of that would be,
Oh, yeah.
I think Bitcoin fixes this because of the straight up first rule of economics.
Does Bitcoin drop bombs?
Yes.
Well, I guess technically because it's used on both sides, but that's just a stretch from a thingamajigger. You know what I mean?
A
No,
stretch from
no,
a
I don't.
thingamajigger. Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Bombs over babushka.
Anyway, first rule of X and bombs over babushka.
Bombs over babushka.
First rule of economics, what is it?
Shout out Stinker and your
Don't.
outcast.
Don't.
Scarcity, right?
So essentially, the idea of like
So if Bitcoin is the digital gold, it's better than gold automatically because gold can still be mined, and the country that holds the most gold is China,
China,
and they manufacture the most gold,
China.
and then they sell it to Russia.
China.
Because for some reason this metal still stands for value, even though it
Why? Yeah,
doesn't have all this. It's because social consensus. People say it is because it is.
It's an agreed upon. It's a
Yep,
socially
social
agreed upon
consensus.
thing.
But Bitcoin is
I think
21 million,
therefore I am.
right? So
what?
technically, the people in the Ukraine and Russia are both using Bitcoin. And the cool thing about it is, though, Bitcoin is permissionless, open sourced, right? So even when they shut down central banks and all those billionaires lost money, if they had it in crypto and on hardware wallets, they still got that money because of the scarcity of it. But the point of the whole thing is, we were talking about Ukraine. The point is, nobody should be fucking dying, right? And you have all these arguments all over the world, and everybody thinks they know fucking better. So I keep trying to break it down, and I'm like, how do we fix this? As this little old podcast that's smoking this, what is it again?
Motor breath.
Motor breath. This motor breath got me thinking. Nobody should have to die. So, and then I'm wearing my Jalen Rose Leadership Academy shirt.
Does it make you feel more like a leader? By the way, Jalen Rose, open invite.
Yeah, always, dude. Fab Five. Hello.
Open invite to Jawan Howard. He
Fuck
has
yeah,
some time
nice
off right
job,
now.
kid. He's got time.
Uncalled for, Brandon.
Very
Open
funny.
invite to Chris Webber, Ray King, Jimmy King,
Jimmy King. Ray Jackson.
Ray Jackson. See, I
I
was
got
got
you.
them two mixed up.
Steve Fisher as well. Hell of a coach. Anyway,
Is he related to Fisher Price?
no.
Okay.
Point is, Jalen Rose, I got his book, got it signed, got to give the people what they want. So how do you give everybody in the world what they want? And how do you give me what I want, which I think is a basic human understanding of logic at this point in the current state of the world that we live in. I don't think anybody else, even if you dislike that guy, you don't really want anybody else to die. We all got one life, let's live it. How do we give everybody in the world what they want? So you got all these people in power really wanting just to make people suffer and die over what? Money? Power? How do we fix this?
So okay, so
All
I would
things that
say-
won't last.
I would say following that track,
Because we all end up equal.
let's start with
Dead.
exactly.
So what's the
ashes to
point of
ashes.
fucking hurting other people while you're here? It's so
There's
stupid.
not. It's basically essentially boredom. That's the animalistic part of the human.
I don't
We
know.
have all.
You really just chalk it up to boredom? Like,
mean,
hey,
yeah,
I'm
it's-
bored,
yeah.
Joe. I'm going to go take a shit on your porch.
Pretty much.
If
it's,
you add
no, it's-
enough money and enough time, you're gonna get bored.
You're gonna do everything
then
you wanted to do. You're gonna run
whatever
out of
you
things
wanna
that
do
you can
to-
think of. Like
You want the honest answer for like
Give it.
like why Putin is doing this outside of basically ambitions of rebuilding Imperial Russia.
he wants attention and he wants
It's
something.
it's
in
leaving a
return.
legacy. The man's 70 years old.
He's on the back half.
He's on honestly signs based off his recent behavior tend to point towards some sort of decline in health.
Some degradation in mental capacity, maybe.
So essentially, he wants his legacy taught in social study books.
well, that's what we're kind of confused
So,
about.
but
And what we were
basic-
talking about.
Putin, personal opinion, Putin will be out of power within the next 24 months.
No shit. So you're saying that 27 February 2022.
Why?
So within the
Assassination?
Within the next 2 years, Putin
This-
will be out of power.
this
Anonymous?
Well, because essentially, what will happen is this war effort will eventually fail. Putin might hold on to power for a short time after that, but the fact is, his popularity with the Russian people is fading, and this
He's
war.
arresting protesters. It's absurd.
Wait a minute.
And
America just did the same thing. Let's
And
not
this
That's
be-
absurd, too.
Well, no shit. But,
But here's the thing: this war has done one thing. Once again, follow the money, Matthew. We talked about all these economic sanctions that are going against Russia, and particularly their wealthy elite billionaire class, who have huge amounts of power and influence over how the government is run. Essentially,
Because if your billionaire buddies ain't backing up your stupid ass fucking war, then you ain't gonna do it.
essentially, what is happening is Putin is, this war is going to tank the Russian economy, and Putin will lose power. It's the same thing that's happened really throughout Russian history, is that the only way to really trigger a revolt, no matter how big of a piece of shit you are, is to absolutely throw the economy in the toilet to where the peasants literally have nothing else to lose.
Well, they've already said that the ruble's dropping in value pretty much by the minute it.
Market open today. Fucking biggest move since can't even remember.
And you're right, Matthew. Like basically, essentially, it needs to be an adult on the world stage, multiple adults on the world stage, and being like, "Fuck, are we doing?" You know, like what's our end game?
I feel bad for all those people in Russia that had like money under their mattress and now it's literally worthless.
Well, and
Venezuela, worthless. Egypt, worthless. Or whatever
Egypt.
else. I don't know. I can't remember. A couple
Hell's
other
Egypt?
places.
What Egypt
Argentina.
do?
Maybe it was them.
Hey, it's not shit on Argentina, all right?
I wasn't.
We like Argentina,
I do.
specifically the post office boxes.
But Bitcoin solves this. It's a one world currency.
So that may be a tool and
It's borderless.
The
It
next-
needs no permission from anybody.
but I don't understand the value.
Social
But I guess
consensus.
Okay.
The dollar's
Fair.
only worth something because the government told you it was, and then it's backed
Right.
on OPEC on. They forced everybody to buy it. So technically, when everybody got a stimulus check,
Yeah.
it'd have been better if they just didn't, because then inflation
I
wouldn't have
disagree with
happened
that,
that
but all right.
fucking happen that fast. I mean, you got to buck up, because the second that they did that it just kicked it all off. I mean, it's not backed by anything. You can't just print money.
You can. You've told me that.
No, they do it, but it doesn't make any logical sense. They're devalued. They're technically stealing from you.
What
Not technically,
where
they are.
Or basically what Matthew's saying is where the issue comes in is that the money from the stimulus checks wasn't redirected from other parts of the budget. It was money that we essentially added to our budget that didn't already exist. And because our annual budget is obviously granted out of tax revenue, we were essentially borrowing against future tax revenues that we had not yet collected. And so to print that money, we were essentially going in the hole.
All right. Well, then I would suggest
Further in the hole.
I would suggest other means of getting that money, and that would be by lowering how much a fucking senator makes a year. They did not miss one fucking paycheck during that entire fucking time.
No, because they extended the.
Yeah, the problem is we set up this country with giving Congress the ability to vote on their own pay rate.
That was dumb. Checks and
Socialism for
balances.
Congress.
They're
not for
literally
us.
actors that work for major corporations that are working on a 3D chess scale of how to squeeze every goddamn red cent out of
But
anybody
for what?
to keep the gap. They all want to fucking control the world. I mean, they're playing like that giant game of Risk, right?
But why? Why?
I have no idea. Power.
Why is this-
Why Trump had all the money in the world? Why do you have to run for president? Prestige to be in social study books?
Sir, he allegedly
Parks around the country?
He allegedly had money. We're finding out that he's been fun word inflating his assets for quite some time now.
Most people do that.
Well, he inflates and deflates, and he's dominating.
Well, he had
a
it
lot,
probably
so-
run through sub companies, angel companies, LLCs in different jurisdictions, writing it off, using IPs, using real estate, growing on paper, making the people pay rent, and he's growing more on paper because then he's got margin and leverage on that.
And how is that not some sort of fraud or law breaking of some
It's
sort?
technically fraud because if the dollar devalues and your real estate goes up, you really didn't go anywhere. Oh, I had this thought today off of that too.
Okay.
Check this out. You get this treadmill, right? And you think, hey, this treadmill's going to make
A
me...
treadmill?
Yes, sir. And you get it, and you get on it, and you're like, I can't wait to use this treadmill. And then you're like, oh, shit, I'm not going anywhere. I got to go plug it in. So you go plug it in, and you turn it on. And now you're running, you're spinning your wheels. You can sit there, and you can go, right? But you're still in the same place. You're not getting anywhere. I think the second we all realized we didn't need the treadmill anyway and go outside and be a part of the world and reality and make things better, I think it's going to be a win for humanity, and that's the only way I can put it. As if-
Basically, fuck treadmills, right?
Well, I mean, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, if you're
Peloton
gonna walk,
stock is
fucking
down.
earn it. Go outside in different weather, experience the earth as it is.
Go for a walk.
Let's go for a walk like we do in Soviet Russia.
Oh, hey guys, good news coming out of the Ukraine. Chechen warlord or loyal to Vladimir Putin, who persecuted gays in his home region, killed in Ukrainian fighting.
Boo.
Well, he's dead now. So
All right.
celebrate that.
Yeah, can I get an applause
according
for
to
that?
according to a report from a Russian soldier captured by Ukrainians, he was killed during a convoy, that was blown up by the Ukrainians.
Looks
we
like
just-
we got ourselves a convoy.
Did we just applaud a bad guy's death?
Yes.
Okay, I was just
Sure.
double checking.
No, we're not out here. All right, another hero died. That'd be kind of weird.
Oh
wouldn't it?
yeah. I just want to be on the right side of social justice. Or wait a minute. See, I had a problem with that this week too.
should
I was
be on the
thinking
correct
about is what okay, can you explain this to me real quick? What is
let's
social justice?
Social justice is equality and equity amongst all people. Like, doesn't matter your race, religion.
Okay, so
difference,
my
background.
qualm with this, and I'm not being a smart ass. I'm not
Fair
trying
question.
to
No,
fucking
honest to God, ask your
Why in
question.
the fuck is the word social in front of it? Isn't that just called justice?
No, so social, that it terms in like social society. That Brandon, come on, tag.
Yeah,
in.
I mean, basically, because yes, we can at least claim, although it's verifiably false, that our justice system is blind to these things. But the fact is, we as a society are not.
Our justice system is broken. Our tax codes are broken. Our politicians are broken. And we're just sitting here getting played by everybody, and I feel like everybody's lying to us. Cameron, how do you feel?
About what specifically?
Anything that we had to talk about tonight?
You know, I don't believe.
In miracles?
But do you believe in
Yes.
magic in a young girl's heart?
No, I do believe.
In a young girl's heart.
Of course.
Songs were different back then. A lot of them don't hold up well.
Yeah.
They're still.
But a lot of them surprisingly do.
Still bangers though.
Got anything exciting coming up this week? Nothing?
Oh. Well,
Matthew's Poetry Corner. Matthew's Poetry Corner.
With Matthew.
I tried a different thing again.
I don't know. I saw that. I liked it.
Living in the big city. The American dream is far roaming in the streets of greed. Everywhere I turn, I'm on a mission for more. But I ain't selling my soul. With the dope, there's no girl. I'm on a one-way box to the top. I'm hitting a strip, but got a sound that would rally the block. I'm in the fast lane and I won't stop. And you ain't nothing but talk. It's Rise Up by Cypress Hill. I think off the album Rise Up.
Nice.
It's a hell of a jam. I feel like if you're gonna work out on that treadmill that I was talking about earlier, you just don't buy that son of a bitch. Put this thing in your head and go for a jog. Brandon.
So I've been listening to a lot of classics recently. I've been listening to a little band that I previously, much to Joe's anger, referred to as a Monkees cover band called The Beatles. A track called "Back in the USSR."
Oh, I love the
Back
Monkees.
in the USSR.
Oh no shit, that makes sense.
Yeah, because of what we talked about the whole podcast.
Cameron.
These Ukraine girls really knock me out.
we talking about songs right now?
Yeah. Do you not know how this works? Did you have amnesia? What the fuck's going on?
I
here?
don't think he got
Amnesia?
this part. He didn't talk to Cameron. He just filled in last
No,
minute.
there was. I literally
He's got
just
the
got
script,
here.
right?
No,
So
Cameron
this
didn't
is
give
the
it to
poetry corner. What have you been listening to this week?
Oh, a
Song and
whole lot of sad stuff.
band and song title.
Whole lot of
please.
sad stuff. Perfect. You fit right in with Cameron's music.
Yeah, he trained me well in that regard. Oh, okay. Well,
Please don't slip your wrist.
I really
Tonight.
not tonight, but maybe tomorrow.
Are you gonna pick one or what?
Oh, I like. Well, this isn't sad, but I've been listening to a lot of Motley Crue lately.
Song?
She
Ain't No Misdemeanor.
no. I really like. What is it? Is it Jumpstart My Heart? Something like that.
Kickstart my
Kickstart My Heart. There you go. Yeah, I really like that one.
When I get high, I get
Didn't
high
they do
on
Dr.
speed.
Feelgood too?
Yeah.
Good.
She gonna call Dr. Feelgood.
She's the one to make me feel all right, Joe.
I was listening to Pearl Jam. I'm going to slow it down a lot here.
Oh.
Yeah. Popped in my head earlier this week, and I threw on Better Man, because that's always a good jam. I think the lyrics are pretty fucking well written.
Better Man.
And, it's a song that makes you think. And
Better
it's-
Man?
It's
Better Man?
I hate the fucking both of you.
As you should.
Better
Wait,
Man
wait.
by
The
Pearl
both of
Jam
us?
is a banger. Will always be a banger.
Absolutely.
That's what we've been rocking this week. But I think 10's their best album.
Just don't call me daughter.
Don't call me daughter.
Whatever happened to that old lady behind the counter in Seattle?
The elderly woman behind the counter in a small town.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Just a small town. No, I'm not going to go there.